And we are live, and my dogs are barking at nothing. Hello
Perfect
and
timing.
welcome to the literally as I push the button. Hello and welcome to the Benefit of a Doud podcast, to another review of the Benefit of a Doud podcast. This time for the Tronsmart T7 speaker review, a speaker that my co-host is quite jazzed about. Cliff, how you doing this evening?
I've got my Tronsmart T7 right next to my face, so I'm doing
That's
pretty well.
Amazing.
Yes.
So this is going to be the Cliff Show because you're the one doing the review here. So
Sure.
Tell me about the Tronsmart T7 speaker and why you love it so lovely.
Well, let's see. First of all, I'll talk about sort of how I use Bluetooth speakers. I have, or at least I had, I guess it's Ultimate Ears, that brand that's owned by Logitech. Boom. That was about the same size that I can't find anymore. So I was in the market for a new Bluetooth speaker, something that I can, carry around. And also that was pretty old. I mean, I remember when I got it. I got it right after I got the HTC M7. So that's how old that speaker was. So
that's a bit of a throwback.
It was. I mean, it had things like micro USB charging and, just stuff like that. It was time. So even though I can't find it, I just thought maybe this is a good opportunity for me to also pick up something that we can review on the podcast. And so I did some research. And this is the one that I came across. Now, I had seen the brand Tronsmart on Amazon before for Bluetooth headphones, speakers, and things of that nature. But so this is my first experience with a brand, and so this cost me, I think right now if you go on Amazon, it's $56, but then there's a 28% coupon on top.
Oh, really?
Of it. So it's just say it's probably going to be around $45 to $50 if you decide to purchase it. And I'm kind of jumping the shark here, but I'm also, by talking about this, sort of talking about the level that it's at in terms of compared to the competition, which really I think you're talking about something like one of the JBL speakers that you can pick up, or an Ultimate Ears Boom. But this is more speaker in terms of size than you're going to get from those. Usually when you spend around $50, you're getting one of like the little mini ones around this big. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that this has before we even talk about the sound. And I don't know if you want to roll the do we want to
roll the video?
Yeah. All right. I'll kind of narrate here as I'm going. I'll just try not to speak too fast. I'll try to.
Okay, here comes Skippy's idiot cousin, Sparky.
Okay, so the first thing you see there, it's got a rotating volume knob on the top. If you listen really carefully with headphones, you can see it actually makes a little clicky sound. It is IPX7 water resistant. There's the porting on the bottom. And it's also very durable. I really feel like if I drop this, first of all, if you threw this at someone, you would definitely hurt them. It's a chunker.
Nice.
All right. And it does have a little port here for you to charge, and you can also add a microSD card if you want. And as you can see, it is protected from water. Like I said, IPX7 water resistant, which means you can have it in up to 3 feet of water for up to 30 minutes. All your buttons are right there, as you can see in the video, for powering it on. It's going to make its little Bluetooth pairing sound. And then we're going to hear what this sounds like. Recorded through an iPhone.
Space Odyssey type
yes.
thing.
Now we're using your demo song. Oh, the fast forwarding part's the best part. Yeah,
it is.
Try not to. Now this has through the software, through the app that it has a partner app, and it's got different equalizer settings. I think you can hear this if you're wearing headphones. And the one I just hit there is on the top right is the one I would probably use for everything, but it's got bass boost, classical rock, those kind of things. It's kind of a neutral sound. And then, as you can see, the ring on the light on the top actually changes colors to let you know what mode you're in.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
It is really nice. Sound Pulse is the one that I use for everything. It just sounds the best. I'm sure it's... Here I'm using the very nice clicky buttons to go back and forward and pause. It's all pretty intuitive as far as that's concerned. But as you saw, there is a companion app. Some of the things that I didn't have time to talk about in the video, besides the fact that it was IPX7 water resistant, is that this is a 360-degree speaker. So this is something you could set on a table.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. And it's pretty immersive sound for how small this is. This thing gets really loud. And sometimes, yeah, there it is right there. So 30 watts, I don't know what that means in terms of equivalency.
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't know what to compare that to. But I mean, I guess one of the questions that you could, anecdotally, like when you set this down on the table outside, like how far away can you hear this when it's cranked?
You've been on my back deck, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
I've been on your deck a lot of times. I just love sitting on your deck as long as I can. Anyway,
this is definitely the kind of thing where, I mean, you couldn't. We're not that kind of partner,
by the way.
You couldn't go to like a public pool and then this be like the party speaker that fills up. You would start losing it if you swam away. But if you're sitting outside, you're sitting at like on your deck or your patio, and you put this on your table as you're maybe grilling or something, it's way more than enough for that. I mean, it's nice. It definitely gets loud, and sometimes loud doesn't necessarily mean good quality audio. Sometimes if you boost the volume on competitors, you'll get some distortion. Sometimes it's just nothing but bass. And something else that I really like about this, even though it's kicking out the bass, it does not sit there and I mean, you can see it shaking like this, but because it's got this rubber base on it, this little foot, it doesn't make a vibrating sound on the table, at least with my experience. I've just had it on like a coffee table and my glass table outside. I don't know if you've ever used a bassy speaker on something that's like glass or and you hear it rattling. You definitely
sound like a gangbanger driving down the street with like
exactly.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, in my experience,
gangbanger. I just totally dated myself too.
Wow, makes me want to go play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, no kidding.
But here's to me, this is something that's the speaker sounds good, especially for the price. It's got some interesting features that. Like the fact that it's got the software EQ. Shouldn't mention, you can actually buy two of these, and like some of its competition, you can pair them for stereo sound.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is really nice. Cool. And so for what this costs, actually, you could get two of these for the price of like the Ultimate Ears Boom. That's around $100. So honestly, I think in that respect, this is a much better buy. But this is something I have not seen on any other speaker. And that is, and you can see it there on the Amazon image that we have. But the fact, let me see if I can actually get it. But you can hear, I'm rotating the bezel on top right now.
Yeah, that is a nice, satisfying clicking sound.
It's so nice. Oh, now it's saying that it's max volume.
It's max volume. Okay.
Yeah. Because I do have it turned on right now. But yeah. It feels high quality. I feel like if I drop this, it's most likely not going to break. Even this ratcheting part on top. I mean, it's rubberized in the places that matter. So I was looking for a party speaker, and I found one.
No end of amusement of this family watching a European football game with two of these speakers on either side of the TV.
I mean, honestly, I do feel like, in all seriousness, that if you had two of these, it would be better than my soundbar that I've got, except for the bass. I think I would still miss having my subwoofer, relatively speaking. Okay. But if
it sounded like the bass was pretty solid on those little clips that we were listening to.
It is really good, but it's still not the same as having a separate subwoofer like I have with my. I mean, it definitely would be better than I would imagine like the soundbar that we reviewed in terms of the
Are
bass.
You dissing another product that
I am
that we reviewed on this channel?
But this is meant to.
How dare you, sir?
I do like the fact that it number one is USB-C as far as charging. You would kind of expect that these days, but I'm willing to bet if you could probably still find some that are micro USB.
What did I just charge the other day? And it wasn't new. It was something relatively old that I pulled out, and I went to charge it, and I'm like, holy crap, micro USB? What the heck? What was that? Was it a battery pack? I don't remember. Oh man. Anyway, sorry.
And let me see if I can get this to focus. I did have it on the video there, but you've got this nice little flap that allows you to not only charge, and it does
Right
say,
down there.
it actually even says USB-C on the inside, just in case you forgot, or if you're not
Just
like
in case
us,
you forgot.
but it does allow you to put a micro SD card in there.
Let me,
And so you can play music directly off of that instead of streaming from your, which actually would be kind of nice if you think about, sometimes, think about if you're out it's funny, I was thinking, this just occurred to me. If you're, why would you want that if you've got your phone? But unless, so I don't offload music onto my phone anymore. I don't really save anything onto my phone. And so if you're at like the lake or something, at a place that's more rural, like I do experience around here, you can just throw some music onto
an SD
card, and then even if you don't have connectivity as far as the from your carrier, you can still play music off of this.
And also, if you're gonna go on if you're gonna go off the grid for a while, and you don't necessarily want to expend the energy that your phone would need to broadcast the music to the speaker, that would be another way to save power that way. So I have a couple of comments.
Sure.
First of all, based on the sound that you played, and by the way, I do Roundtable Rival by Lindsey Sterling, not Shatter Me. Okay, so let's be clear about that.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
But I mean,
like
it's the same thing. It's dubstep. I mean, it's dubstep with a violin. That's really all I'm looking for. Anyway, so no, it sounded like the bass was really super solid. Now, the reason I actually like Roundtable Rival is because right at the beginning of a song, there's like a da 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 da, and there's like a little bass line, like that. But then, like, once you get past that first riff, it goes into like this really super heavy oosh, 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 oosh. And so like there's a difference between the boom, boom, boom and the oof, oof. And so I like to hear whether or not a device can manage that extra oof at the bottom there.
Interesting. I have not played that track, so I have not experienced that. I can say, like I said, I'm
trying to remember if Shatter Me has a similar thing. It probably does.
It gets to that part where it's and I said, I kicked up the volume pretty high. In fact, I've been using that track on a few things that I'm testing, and definitely
it's a great track.
Love any distortion with it. It is. It also, because you've got the violin, and in this case because you've also got
the collab with
right, exactly. I forget her name.
The band. I know the name. Wait, don't tell me. It's her last name. Hailstorm. That's it.
Yes.
Hailstorm. Lizzie Hale.
Yes. But actually doing the vocals on that track, and so you do get some of the heavier mids. You get the the brighter stuff from the violin. So I mean, I won't sit here and go on. I mean, in the end, it's a portable Bluetooth speaker, but I consider it to be for everything. Oh, I should mention it's up to 12 hours. I have not run down the battery enough to really, to test that. I will tell you that I have charged it once, and I've probably played 2 or 3 hours of music, and I'm still above 90%. So
nice.
But I'm also not doing some of the lighting effects and things like that. There's just no reason to.
Right.
But for me, but yeah, I would, for the price, this is one of the better surprises that I've had in what I would consider to be, a relatively unknown brand compared to some of the, like a Bose or, like I said, Ultimate Ears from Logitech, or I was trying to, it's JBL, or Harman Kardon, some of the competitors that are out there. So now I'm probably going to pick up a second one of these, to be honest.
Okay. I had another note here, real quick. This confuses me. You've got the
SP.
No, you've got the fast forward button, the rewind button, and then the play button is turned 90 degrees.
That's kind of just the standard play button graphic.
Well, right, but it's turned 90 degrees from the fast forward and the rewind. Like the play arrow is pointing down, while each of the others are pointing to the left and the right. So my question is, which one of these is fast forward?
Up is forward. The one that's on the bottom is down or backwards. Because most of the time, I didn't even think about the fact that you could also lay it like this. But I mean, I'm standing it up like this because otherwise it would.
But roll. I mean, My point is, I would rather have the two arrows pointing to the left and pointing to the right when it's standing upright. Because right now they're pointing up and down, which up and down doesn't mean anything for fast forward and rewind.
I didn't
Up
even.
could easily be either way.
I could see how that would be. For
It's
some
just a
people
UI
that
thing that I noticed. That's
sure. I actually it was completely intuitive to me, but I see what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
The SP button that you see there on the Amazon side is the stereo pairing button. So
okay.
Right. So you press that in order to.
That's cool.
It's funny if you think about it, occupying like so much space on there, and then you're like, does it? You can't just like hold down play for, a certain amount of time. But I like the fact that it's just there. I do too. Everything.
It's kind of like on a set of Bluetooth headphones when you have the power and pair button as the same button, and you have to push it and hold it in order to pair it, but you can't do that because when you push it and hold it, you power it off. So what you have to do is actually turn them off, push the power button to turn them on, and then continue holding the power button to put it into pairing mode. I like it much better when there's just a separate button for pairing mode.
And I'll put
and that's how everything should always be. And that's
a feeling that's
my mission statement.
Most people could, without reading the manual, figure out how to because when you power this on for the first time, it actually goes into pairing mode.
Oh, okay.
And so if you could just go to your Bluetooth and you'll see it there. And then I have a feeling most people could take this out of the box and pretty easily figure out how to work it. And then it does also come with the lanyard that you saw attached to mine is also in the picture. It actually comes installed when you get it, although obviously you can remove it if you want to. I like having it, so I
would too. Overall, I think it's a solid offering. And like I said, the video that you recorded, and granted, you were recording that with like the iPhone, right?
Yeah,
that's what you shot that video. So I mean, you're getting decent bass through the microphone of an iPhone,
right?
And it sounded pretty decent, like when we were playing it over the stream. So I mean, I would imagine it sounds even better when you're listening to it in live.
It sounds really good, and I'll always say, with the asterisk, for the money. I mean, you definitely could spend, $250 on like a Sonos Move or something like that. But at the same time, I like that at this price, I don't feel bad about just throwing it into a bag. It feels really tough, and I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah.
If I spend $250 on something, it's gonna feel kind of precious.
Right. And I think we have another speaker that might be coming up that I think you're going to have some fun reviewing. So that's a little spoiler. When did we have that queued up? That's like for next month, right?
Is it? Yeah, I don't know. I need to go back and look at our queue of things. I've been looking forward to reviewing this, and then I started thinking, well, how do you review something like this that is all about? It's very subjective in terms of audio quality, and it's really hard to show on a review like this, on a video review,
right?
Especially when you're worried about getting tagged by YouTube for playing
copyright
infringement, right? So it's
fine. We'll live. It's not like we're monetizing anyway.
I did my best by fast forwarding through some stuff. I forget what the total time is that you played, but
that's why you were fast forwarding. Okay.
Yes. Well, I didn't think you'd want to hear 10 minutes of a song playing through a podcast
it's a good song, but yeah,
it is a good song. I agree.
So, all right.
But yeah, this is something that the ringing endorsement is something I would recommend to my friends. And I actually think my wife is going to steal this from me. I told her she could have it when the review is over. So I don't think I'm going to have it around for very long, but that's okay because I have another very fun thing to review for us of the same genre.
You do. Yeah, you do. That's gonna be a good time. Okay. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up on this shorty?
I don't think so. I just
great.
I think again, $56 right now before you clip the 28% coupon. So let's gonna put it down to like 43, 45.
56 minus 28%. That's going to be about $14 off, so about $42. It's going to be a little bit more than that, so about 41
with tax. But oh my god, that's such a good deal for the speaker.
It really is. It really is. And here I thought you were marveling at my math skills, but okay, fine. Good. That's fine. Actually, you know what? Just because of that, I'm gonna actually do the math, and I'm gonna find out exactly what it is. 56.
If only I could fast forward it like I did in my speaker.
72 is $40.32. I was within
Wow.
68 cents.
That's good. Now it's even better deal.
In my head, right there, baby.
Nice. I think I paid 43 for it, so it's actually even a better deal than it was when I bought it. So
Yeah. Well, you probably had some sales tax or something. But anyway, all right, cool. Well, now that I have demonstrated my superior math skills, and now that Cliff has about to lose his speaker for the rest of his life, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Please consider subscribing to the podcast if you enjoyed it. And if you really enjoyed it, I would love it if you would write a review for the show. And if you're watching this on YouTube, because you are, click that subscribe button and be notified of new episodes and reviews as they drop. And stay tuned for us to launch our new ASMR channel based on speaker noises. If you want some early access, jump onto Patreon at patreon.com/benefit of the Doud. I'd like to thank co-producer Cliff for all of his hard work behind the scenes and for coming on and talking about the Tronsmart T7 speaker. But most of all, and as always, I'd like to thank you for listening and for giving us the benefit of the Doud.